Time. Without it, we would be lost. This was a concept first noticed by civilizations dating back as far as ancient Egypt. The Egyptians' first mechanism for timekeeping was the obelisk. The obelisk was a tall, freestanding structure that casted a shadow in which an interpreter used to determine the time of day. Keeping time this way soon became too demanding. As people spread out from Egypt, they wanted to avoid having to erect such a large artifact in which took many resources and manual labor to build. The people of Mesopotamia began using a much simpler form of timekeeping, the water clock. This device measured time by the regulated flow of water out of or into a vessel where the amount of water remaining was measured and a certain time was designated. Moving across the Eurasian continent, we arrive in the regions of China and Japan. Here a new system of time measurement emerges, and the tedious task of refilling a vessel with water is done away with. The candle clock was the new system. With this technique, the height of a candle is measured out into equal sections, and each section was translated into a specific length of time. Moving forward, timekeepers still found it to be a hassle to refill the clock with wax, so a more permanent solution needed to be designed. Creating a vessel that could keep time while also containing all contents needed for its function was crucial. It was at this point in history, roughly 100 BC, that the hourglass was introduced. Following the use of the hourglass was the sundial. Sundials were the first timekeepers in the clock era and displayed a circular face with numbers corresponding to a certain hour of the day. The sundial's function relies on shadows to provide a good estimate of time on a sunny day. It wasn't until the start of the 14th century that we began seeing clocks that resembled those that we use today. As culture was changing and adapting worldwide, new approaches of timekeeping began to take place. To enhance the quality of the human experience, a clock now needed to be portable. As larger amounts of people began taking on jobs in major cities, leaving the life of agriculture and trade behind, these professionals needed an accurate and mobile device that would remain reliable throughout their business practices. The watch, now a mobile clock, was first designed to fit in a pocket and be easily accessible to the user in a time of need. As the watch's popularity grew, so did its uses. Eventually, a wrist strap was introduced into the design, which allowed the watch to be worn on the wrist. This allowed it to be constantly visible to the user. It did not take long for this highly aesthetic accessory to be influenced by the media, and for the watch to transition into a form of jewelry for the wealthy. Many sources of media, such as magazines, catalogs, and newspapers, began advertising the watch as a necessity for daily life. Watches were displayed as being versatile, serving social, business, and leisure purposes. These three categories of purpose wearing is what influences which watch a consumer purchases. Some consumers are forced to buy two or more to fill the needs of every situation they encounter. With me being a college student who also enjoys a life of socializing, the watch I wear is the Acrobos 19, perfect for any business or social setting.